Yo, what's good, good people? It is Friday night, and sometimes that means collecting uncensored. So, that's what we're doing tonight. We are doing collecting uncensored. My guest this evening, his Thursdays are super, super full. So, I had to shift to be able to get him on here, and I'm so thankful that I did because I'm super excited to see what he's got. He is a fellow podcaster as well as, he does his YouTube as well. Like the podcast and the YouTube are all the same thing. So definitely got to support the podcast family. And yeah, I mean he's been making his way through like the YouTube community, inviting people on. I had the pleasure of going on and being one of his guests for his podcast as well. So that was a great time. And what better time to sit there and like ask somebody to come on to mine than just being on theirs. So let's bring out James, part of the Nerdy Music, actually the member of the Nerdy Musing podcast.
I love it, Sam Rockwell.
Yes,
Sam you didn't know I could move that way, did you?
Right? I'm just saying, moves like Jagger. Yes.
6'5", 320 pounds of moving like a gazelle.
I mean, it helps with the jiu-jitsu as well, right?
It does, man. It does. It surprises people.
Right? Yes.
I appreciate you having me on.
No, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, man. I appreciate that, especially like with your busy schedule and whatnot like that.
Oh,
yeah. You're able to work it out. That's awesome.
This is great. It's an honor.
Yes, absolutely. All right, cool. I'm going to do things like I normally do here. We definitely want to talk about the podcast at some point in time this evening.
For sure.
But we got to talk about your collection, okay? And like all types of people are different types of collectors. And so you got key collectors, you've got cover lovers, you've got run collectors, you got there's so many types of collectors, readers, all kinds of things, all kinds of people, and you can be more than one.
Yeah.
But like your collection and how you collect now, how do you see yourself as a collector?
So it's evolved, man, since I started collecting again a couple of years ago. I think we talked a little bit on when we had you on the podcast about getting into graded stuff and all of that. So that's kind of influenced some of what I've picked up. And so it's all over the place, but I'm I'm somebody that's always followed artists. Nice. So I would say I'm that might put me in the cover collector category in some instances.
Okay.
I would say I'm a nostalgia collector too, because now that I'm collecting again and I'm getting into graded stuff, I'm picking up a lot of the books that I had back in the day, but I'm getting them graded, graded versions of them and having ones that have a lot of sentimental value for me. And then you got the keys. I've been getting big into the keys and picking stuff up. So that's kind of been my favorite here recently, is picking up a lot of first appearances and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. So art lover, graded comics. You're into the graded comics, collecting those.
Slippery slope.
Right. And then you were saying I just now forgot the last one.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
Yes, the nostalgia. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. That's fun.
It is
fun times. Okay, cool.
Expensive but fun.
Right. Can be expensive. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's say hello to the chat real quick. We got some awesome people that came and hang out with us this evening. Brandon Von Comics, who I think is the reason why that we're all hanging out now, is because of this man right here. So
poor Brandon, man, it's always snowing. He's always posting his weather updates. This guy cannot get away from the snow.
Yeah, it's either snowing or raining or something dreary. So he says, I'm here for the sexy Southern and jiu-jitsu James. Nice. Appreciate you, Brandon. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Let's see. Dope Comics, my Southern brother right there. What's up, brother? What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming out. Awesome guy. Dope. Richard is in the house. Says hi all. What's going on, Richard? Appreciate you coming out.
Richard's everywhere, man. I see him on all the live streams. That's awesome. Right? I got to get some Nerdy Mewzings stickers sent out to him.
Yeah,
he had mentioned he wants a sticker. I had some to give away in person at Emerald City Comic-Con, and he was like, how do I get one? So Richard, make sure you DM me and give me your address. I want to send you some stickers out.
And speaking of DMing you, I've got your Instagram. I believe I have your Instagram.
Yep.
If not, I'll get that. I'll get your Instagram, put it in the description. I have your YouTube in there, and I've got your Spotify and your Apple Podcast linked in there. I know I
Perfect.
have those three.
Yeah.
But your Instagram, I think I'm lacking, so I need to go back and put that in there.
Pretty
But
much everywhere at Nerdy Musings.
there you go, Nerdy Musings podcast. Yes,
Yep. With the funky spelling.
yeah, yes. Let's see. Richard said, "Hit the like button." Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Another Southerner right here, bottom tier collector. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. I'm hopefully going to be seeing this man here in a couple of days, so I'm super excited about that. Oh no, don't be sick. No, no, no. Let's not do that.
Ugh.
Let's not do that. Let's see. Brandon says that's always the worst. Did they for a week? Not long. Oh, talking about getting sick. Got you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He was really sick. Last time we hung out, you got your wife, I think, had the flu, or your kid, and then
Yeah.
Brandon's been going through it, man. I blame the snow.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right. I'm so excited to see what books you got because, like, your channel's not like the norm, like YouTube comic book person or whatever. You know what?
No.
Like it's all you like. You're very unselfish. Like it's all about the person that you bring on. Like, and so I don't know what books you have. So I'm
very elusive.
Yeah.
Big but elusive. Just like Sasquatch.
Yeah. Yes.
It's good. It's good. I'm from the Pacific Northwest here, right? Fit right in.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
So what do you want, and what do you want me to hit you with? Something.
Hey.
I'm saving something more crazy for the end, so that's the hook, so everybody stays till the very end with us.
Something crazy, craziness, guys. At
craziness,
the end. Craziness. Awesome.
I'll hit you with that nostalgia tip here for the first one.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Who remembers this?
Wizard #1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Classic McFarlane. Yeah.
Now is that because of the artwork, or is that because of Tom McFarlane, or is that nostalgia? What is that?
All of the above.
Yeah.
So I was collecting Wizard pretty much from the beginning. I worked for Todd's comic book shop out here in Washington State that he co-owned with his brother-in-law.
Nice.
And so always had a love for Todd's work and everything. And so I had to have that. There's a few Todd books in here because it covers the art, the nostalgia, all those feels from when I was a teenager working at my first job at Spider's Web Cards and Comics in Puyallup, Washington, back in the prime Image heyday.
Yes.
Yeah, early 90s.
Let's see, bottom tier, beginning of the end of the 90s market.
Yeah,
they say. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody was investing. They were buying their investments. 20 copies of all the issue ones and everything, thinking they were gonna pay their way through college, pay off those student loans.
Yeah, and those Death of Superman's racking those up as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, I got a few. None of those are in here though.
That's funny. It'd be appropriate. Is it today or yesterday? It was Superman Day. Which one was it? I can't remember now.
Today,
I
believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dang, I should have put something Superman related.
No.
You know, I never was much of a Superman guy. I was always Batman.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I collected the Jim Lee stuff when he did his run on Superman, but again, the artist, follow artists. I'm someone that does art, so I always tended to gravitate towards following artists on whatever book they were on. And so that's my main bulk of my Superman books I have is either Jim Lee or Lionel Yu did a good run on there as well with amazing artwork.
Who would you say are like your top 3? We'll say top 3 artists.
Currently or back in the day?
All time.
All time.
Your Mount Rush. We'll do 4. Your Mount Rushmore of artists. Who is this?
It's hard, man, because there's varying degrees of it.
Right.
And it can kind of shift around.
Yeah.
So I gotta, due to how much of his original art that I have to put Ryan Otley is way up there on my Mount Rushmore.
Nice. Yes.
I'm literally looking on my wall behind my monitor at the original art of the double page spread where they're flying through the Viltrumite planet, destroying it. So
Okay.
I have that double page spread, the original pencils up there on the wall. I have a lot of Ryan stuff. So yeah, Ryan's always been one that I've really gravitated for. If you had to talk about modern times, he would be up there on my list of
Nice.
definitely top 3.
Okay.
Um, Greg Capullo.
Yes.
Yeah, Greg Capullo, always been a huge Greg Capullo fan. Gosh, and then the third, that's so hard to
Right.
say. Like,
Right.
there's probably like 20 different people I could tell you that I'm equally fond of their
Yeah.
artwork. Jim Lee's definitely way up there.
Yeah.
He's
No, I
up
mean,
there, and McFarlane, but for different reasons, like I appreciated McFarlane's stuff more when I was younger, I would say.
okay.
um I still love his stuff, I look back on it fondly, but the more I came to understand art, and the more I improved my art,
Mm,
I became a little more critical looking back on some of it,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
still appreciate it all the same. So McFarlane could definitely be up there as well. Yes. Bottom tier said Mankey. Doug Mankey's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
All,
thinking
all
Phil
the all
Jimenez.
the people he listed are amazing. Yeah,
Right.
and Jimenez is all or I'm thinking of Jorge. Phil's awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jorge's all digital. Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
does 100% digital workflow and puts out amazing stuff.
What do you prefer when you're drawing?
I prefer trud digital.
Tread digital?
Trud digital.
Trud digital.
Traditional
Oh.
mixed with digital.
What's your setup like then?
I'll do my rough thumbnail, tiny, thumbnail sketches on the iPad, and then I usually print that out onto the big board and finish it on the board
Nice.
traditionally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my buddy Dan Fraga came up with that term, tradigital. That's
Tread
how he
digital.
works. Yeah. Does
That's awesome.
iPad, and then because the iPad just makes it so you can work digital in general, you can work so fast and make corrections and adjustments so quick.
Right.
So when you're really in that sketchy, loose stage, it works really well.
Yeah.
Get the idea down, change it around, not be like feeling so permanent about it as you do when you go, like you watch Jim Lee draw on Twitch, and he goes straight to that big board, and he's just like magic coming out of the pencil. Like us mere mortals, it doesn't work that way.
I didn't realize Jim Lee drew on Twitch. That's cool. I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah,
I've watched David Fitch on
he's
YouTube. I know he
amazing.
draws, and
Yeah,
he's
he could
oh my
easily
gosh,
he
love
could
it.
easily be on my Mount Rushmore as well.
Right, right.
Yeah, and what bottom tier saying, like, digital's just a tool. It is, people hate on it, but you have to be able to draw traditionally and have the knowledge of the fundamentals and all those things for the digital tool to work for you. Digital tool just provides some shortcuts and speeds up things. That's why a lot of pros are adopting it. There's
Right.
there's several pros that are like 100% workflow on the iPad now. Pencils, ink, colors, everything. That's why you see these guys that color their own work too, is they can
Mm.
do it, a lot more rapidly.
Well, and it's hard to sit there. For me, anyways, it was hard to go from traditional to digital,
Yeah,
like
just doesn't feel the same.
consistently, right?
Yeah,
Because there's not that paper underneath my hand. There, like you have to adjust to the pencil and the
yeah,
pressure and all that other jazz if you have that ability.
yeah. The
And
tactile nature of it's not there with the digital. The iPad comes the closest, but even then, it's like you're moving the pen on glass. It feels different.
exactly,
So
there's no resistance. There's no friction. It's just and it's because that's what I do. I do it on my iPad, so it's
yeah.
weird. It's hard sometimes for me.
Now, I just had Joshua Durstein on again. Amazing up and coming artist, like 20 years old. His Indiegogo book that he got fully finished, and he's waiting on the inks and everything, so he can fulfill the orders on it. But he showed me a pen tip that a company makes for the Apple Pencil.
Yeah.
And I guess they have a screen guard, and he said the combination between that pen tip and the screen guard they sell is the closest he's come to made his iPad feeling like drawing on paper.
Oh,
And he said he
fantastic.
really likes it, and he's been using his iPad to do a lot more of his drawing now since he got that stuff. So I might check that out.
Yeah. No, yes. Hit me up. Like, let me know what it is.
I'll
on,
send you the links.
scan.
He sent me the links after we did the podcast. I'm gonna pay it forward and send them to
Yes,
you.
absolutely. I'm so interested in that. So
Yeah.
interested. Let's check out. Let's go say hello to Berdazzle in the house. What's going on, lady? Thanks for coming hanging out with us this evening.
Dazzle.
Comic Cap Collectibles. Rich is in the house as well. What's going on, man? Appreciate
Yo.
you coming out. Awesome people in here tonight. All right, James, what else you got going on?
All right, man. Let's see here. Like I told you, I grabbed too much stuff.
No, there's never too much stuff for this show. Are you kidding me?
This is an iconic cover, and also a iconic artist.
Oh, nice. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, absolutely.
The King Kirby.
Right?
Silver Surfer.
That's a good looking copy too.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, man. The color on it's real nice. Yeah, it's pretty clean. You know, these Mylight bags make everything look a little better than it actually is, though.
Oh no, I'm all about saying that Mylar is the beer goggles for comic books.
Yeah,
like that is.
It is a nice copy, though. Even without that, it's a nice copy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's.
Should I throw up a couple more just because they're in that Kirby realm?
Hey, this is your show, man. You do what you want. I'd love to see them regardless, but yeah,
that's a good first.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty clean copy too. That one's hard because it's got the, that white in the background.
Speckles
kind of gets yellowed out a little bit, but yeah,
I feel like that's an underrated book.
Yeah, it is. A lot of Kirby stuff's underrated, man. I didn't have the appreciation for him back in the day that I do now.
I don't think I still have it yet, though. Oh, that's another underrated one. Black Panther 1. Fantastic.
That's a clean one.
Yes, that is clean. Look at that.
Let's do one more, because since I have so many, I'll bust out a few. Let's do this since it's related. Let me see. Flip through these here. Where is it?
While you're looking through there, we got to honor these books with this.
Holy crap!
You should have saved that for this.
Oh no, it comes to every now and then. Yes.
Holy crap!
That's a clean for a 4.5, man. It is. I mean, the black on it's real rich and everything. It's dinged up in this bottom corner.
Yeah, but still.
But overall, like, it's funny, man, how the grading works, because I'm very happy with a lot of my 4s and 4.5s, and
yeah,
I'm like, how is this graded so low? To me, it looks great.
That's what I am on the hunt for this year, is like the Fantastic Four number 52. I feel like that is one of the I feel like that is a one of the big keys for Avengers, anyways. That nobody really cares about. For some reason, I think Daredevil has surpassed Black Panther, or they're right there neck and neck. And I'm like I get it, but I don't at the same time. Like it I don't know. It just.
Yeah, I feel you. On that one for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. When I started getting graded stuff, I kind of, in my brain, I had a few like iconic ones like that, like the first Black Panther and all of that I was like, if I'm gonna go down this path, I gotta get it.
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
Oh, I was checking my volume.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I don't want to keep pulling stuff out. I know it is uncensored and you're pulling stuff out, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna wait for your lead on this.
Oh no! You keep going, man. You pull out
All
whatever
right,
you
all
want to
right.
show, whatever you want to show, man.
Mm,
What like you were talking about earlier? You were talking about the Kirby, and
yeah,
you were like, you didn't appreciate him earlier. So
yeah.
explain that a little bit. Like
Now,
let's deep dive into that a little bit.
so that was kind of going back to that thing I was saying with McFarlane. You know, the broken anatomy and improper or perceived improper way of drawing used to really irritate me when I was younger, when I would look at Kirby's stuff. And then the more I got adept at art and the more I realized and I started seeing Kirby's stuff from like the 40s, and then I started seeing some of his drawings he did when he was like 14, where it's
Yeah.
like photorealistic rendered pencil drawings that look amazing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's like a master. And you see like he did proper anatomy, he did proper faces, and then you realize that he was abstracting. He had
Yeah.
mastered things to the point where he could just break stuff and come up with this new style and just completely revolutionize things and produce an insane workload of books and covers and everything else like nobody since, in my opinion.
Right. I was gonna say, like, for the time given, like some of that I feel like was him having to cut back so that he could like mass produce,
Yeah.
books in general. So
Yeah, I don't know. The crazy thing with Kirby is his quality never diminished. Like pretty much everything he did during that time period, like when he was very prolific, like whether he was doing like, 5 covers a month or, 3 books at the same time, whatever.
right.
Like you look at the pencils, it was all of the same caliber. Now,
Yeah.
when you come to like if you want to look at the published work, and then you can see it changes depending on who was inking him
Yeah.
and how they interpreted what he was putting down.
Yeah. I think I was going more towards like you're talking about his photorealistic
Oh yeah,
drawings
yeah.
he had before. Like, I don't feel like that's necessarily realistic or feasible when you're doing however
No.
many books a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so he
definitely not.
found a compromise of like quality
Yeah.
and quantity to where it was, but still surpassing most people in that aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing with Kirby stuff is just the conveyance of motion, like the
Yes.
movement. Yeah,
Yes.
somebody described it as like the person's foot is in a different time zone than their fist. Like he's literally showing you that progression through time and space
Yeah.
in his drawings. And I thought that was a pretty good way of putting it when it comes to looking at Kirby artwork.
Where it's not just on the paper. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of life to it, a lot of movement. I remember seeing a Neil Adams interview, and he was talking about like certain artists, bad mouthing Kirby's work, and he'd be like, yeah, but can you convey the raw power and movement that he's doing in that figure? Like if I sat you down and said, make something that is as dynamic and has as much movement and power in it as this drawing that he did, could you do it? And they're like, oh, probably not. Like, okay, then. Well, he's got something going for him.
I was gonna say, like, he's not called the king for nothing. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely somebody. It's like anything else, right? Art is so individualized. Like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So,
right.
we all have our different opinions on it, and it's so subjective. So, of course, there's going to be people that don't like his stuff. Like I was one of those back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I evolved. Who knows? Maybe I evolved back to not liking it again, but I doubt it. Especially after investing all this money in these Kirby books. I better keep liking it.
Right. That's hilarious. Cool. Let's move on.
All
See what else you got going up.
Well, I think this one's appropriate. Speaking of controversial artists that people have very varied opinions on.
Oh, I'm interested now.
I'm bringing this one out because it's Wednesday was the 33rd anniversary of the very first Image book.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So this is for nostalgia. I had to have this for, commemorating the Image launch and the first Image titles. So
All those times, yeah, in the shop.
yeah, crazy.
Yes.
33 years ago. This
That
is
is
not
crazy.
this is not my original copy. I got my original copy somewhere.
Okay.
And then along those same lines, I can't be a McFarlane guy without having that.
Yes.
Can't be an Image guy or a McFarlane guy without having your first Spawn
Nice.
or
Nice.
Spawn or Spawny, as Todd would say.
Bonnie.
I'm not gonna do my McFarlane impression. Rob Liefeld has the trademark on that. He does it
Oh my
way too
gosh.
well.
It's so funny. It's so funny watching him do an impression of Todd.
Back to the first character appearances.
Yes.
Gotta have that.
I think that's an underrated book as well.
Well, and the cover, because Todd inked him, it's got a lot of Toddisms in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's Todd over Rob.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
you can tell in Cable. I mean, it looks more like Todd McFarlane Cable and stuff than it does Rob's. So it's always neat to see how they blended together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can't have that one without that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you gotta have your first appearance of Cable, your first appearance of Deadpool.
Right?
Yep.
Holy crap!
So are these did you go from collecting to like getting out of it and then getting back in it?
Yeah,
Like,
so I collected from like 13 until I was probably in my early 30s, and then I took many years off. Because the comic shop I went to here locally, I was really close with those guys and gals in there. And when that shop ended up shutting down, it was like so sad. And almost felt like if I went to a different shop that I would be like cheating on them, cheating on their memory. And I did this weird thing where I started collecting, all digitally, like on Comixology.
oh wow.
So I still collected, but I wasn't collecting physical books. I was getting a lot of stuff on Comixology and all of that. So just not physically collecting, which was a good thing, to be honest, because storage space wise, because I was one of those guys that was going in and spending anywhere from $50 to $150 a week on new books and accumulating way faster than I had space for back then.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I started back up, to about probably, I would say, most seriously, like over the past year.
Okay.
My wife always jokes that there's a lot more stuff coming in than going out, because I say I'm going to sell some, and then I intend to sell some, and then more boxes from eBay show up, and no boxes are going out. We'll rectify it. If she's watching, it will happen soon.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you're not against selling comic books then?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have stuff that I'm very very much wouldn't part with, but then I have quite a bit of stuff that I'd be happy to, send off to somebody who would appreciate it and love it as much as I did. So
yeah.
I think that's a big part about the community, is spreading the love and you know how it is, like what was that Marie Kondo gal? Does it spark joy?
Yeah.
Like some of the books that I had collected when I was younger, they don't have the same feeling that I had for them back then. So it's like, all right, well, somebody else will have that appreciation, can, add this to their collection. It might be the book they've been looking for forever,
Right. Are there any platforms that you sell on?
Oh, there's Cliff. Love you, Big Cliff.
Yes.
Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Say that again.
Are there any platforms that you sell on currently?
No, I'm signed up on all of them to be able to sell, though.
That's funny.
The seeds are there, man. I got a Whatnot. I got an eBay. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
I have comic musings on Instagram too. That's my
Ah.
comic dedicate. That's where I will do some selling.
Oh, I need to go sub that up. I don't think I'm
Yeah,
following that. I
see?
gotta sub that up. Yes.
It's kind of in stasis. It's like
Okay.
Captain America in the ice, you know, just waiting to be thawed out and populate the world.
Make sure you check out Encore as well. That's an up and coming thing.
Okay.
And then there's another comic. There's another comic thing. I don't want to say the wrong one. So
It's hard
I'll
to keep
talk to you
track,
about it.
man. There's a lot of really good platforms now for selling.
Encore is like the newest, like new. So it's like people are just starting to talk about it and things like
Because I know
that.
there's like Hip Comic and Short
Yep.
Boxed and all of those, and Whatnot. I think it's all going to be a matter of narrowing down like what format works best for me. I know a lot of people have good success on just doing sales on Instagram live streams too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll come to find out, but I'll definitely let everybody know when I'm gonna start spreading the love and letting some of my books go.
That's funny. Let's say hello to Kenneth. He is in the house. What's going on,
What's
Kenneth?
up, Kenneth?
Appreciate you coming out. Comic dude, what's going on, man? Appreciate you hanging out with me.
He's got the double fist bump.
Absolutely. Comic dude's awesome.
Nice.
And then Cliff on comics. On a Friday, I'll do it any day, Cliff.
There you go, Big Cliff.
Any day.
I'm
not dedicated.
I'm surprised Cliff's not appearing on somebody else's show right now. He's always on something.
That's funny.
Every time I turn around,
Yeah.
on another one.
Yeah.
Should we hit another book here?
Actually,
Oh,
we hit
okay,
the
okay.
30-minute mark. I want to slow down just a little bit.
30 minutes already.
I know, right? It goes by
Dang.
quick, dude.
It does.
But I want to make sure that I talk about you're a fellow podcaster.
Yes, sir.
And so like your YouTube channel is pretty much like all about podcasting. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I want to acknowledge it and like spread the word out about it because freaking podcasting is hard. That junk is a grind. Like
it can be, yeah.
So
we just hit our 50th episode this last Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, very cool.
That's awesome. So
actually, I was going to say we had Kevin Conrad on there, the legendary inker. Tony Daniels, like he inked a lot of Tony Daniels stuff. He inked Capullo on Spawn. He did the Kiss Psycho Circus for like 30 some issues. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Very prolific. Yeah, he was really cool to have on.
That is awesome. And you've had other like comic book artists and writers, and you're talking about somebody had a fan what is it, fan promoting, fan funded
crowdfunded
coming out.
Crowdfunded.
Yes.
Joshua Durstein he was on. He has his Indiegogo project called Amarok, which is a book that he illustrated and wrote. He's got John Levisay, another like super famous inker, is inking it now. So he's got all his pencils finished up. He like started working on that book when he was like mid-teens, like he was like 17 or something when he started working on it.
Yeah.
And then his art style, his art improved so much that he just ended up redrawing the whole thing. So he just redrew all the pages and finished his part. So the art won't have a weird, here's this quality and then all of a sudden jumps up to this quality. So he's been spending a lot of time doing that, and he just finished his part on that, and then John's finishing up inking it. It's everybody go out and support Josh. He's an awesome kid. That's awesome. Yeah, but we've had a ton of amazing artists, like people I never would have ever imagined would have come on. A lot of word of mouth, people come on, they have a good time, and then I'll ask them for recommendations of who they think would enjoy coming on. And I'll say this. I had the guest, that I reached out to that scheduled, and then my wife and I were watching the new season of What If on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And it said directed by, and it was that person's name.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that. when my buddy recommended them and I reached out and they were like, sure, I'll come on. Yeah. So I'm having the guy that directed several episodes of What If is going to be on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's freaking awesome,
Yeah.
man. Congrats
Yeah.
on that. That's so cool.
So it just keeps growing, man. And I just enjoy, talking to everybody and I feel that I know how to speak with artists because I understand art. So artists, creative people, I think they have a
Yeah.
good time when they come on because I'm not asking them the same pre-canned questions that they get on any comic book interview they do, It's
Yeah.
more like a fun hangout.
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it too. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to get all stuffy or whatever talking about, comic books and nerding out and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And I just started it because I love art. I love comic books. And I just wanted to, put my passion into this and have fun hanging out with other creative people and collectors and, no other intentions than that. Wherever it goes, it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, besides like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, are there any other like places that you like? Where are some of that you're like, as far as analytics go? If you even look at them, like, is there one place that gets more than others that's more popular?
YouTube is definitely the highest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because I do the audio and video, and pretty much anytime I have an artist on, or a collector, they have cool stuff behind them, or they're showing
Right.
pages that they're working on, and it's nice for people to get on and be able to actually see what we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
the YouTube, I put a lot of focus into the production on that. My wife's actually helping me improve the thumbnails and stuff. So this coming Monday, you'll notice that the podcast has a new look as far as the thumbnail on YouTube,
Okay.
as well as the album cover art for the podcast episodes on Apple and all of that. So yeah, we're
Nice.
spicing it up a little bit.
Nice.
Putting a new coat of paint on there.
I mean, at 50, I mean, that's like celebratory things you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's been 11 months since the first episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome, man. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
just keep it going as long as it goes. One day, I'm manifesting. I want to have Todd on. I just have to be able to get a hold. Just have to be able to get a hold of him. So if anybody on here can put a good word in, remind him I worked for him as a young guy, 16 years old. Hung out with him at the shop when he would do signings. I've got a little drawing of a bat he did for me on a notepad when I was sitting next to him.
That's
It's a little bit of history there.
Yes, that's fantastic.
I doubt he will remember out of the millions of people he's encountered, but
You never know, though.
being that I worked for his brother-in-law, you never know. Maybe he'll remember the tall, geeky guy that they had bodyguard him because they knew I was a martial arts guy.
That's fantastic.
That's what they always said. You got to bodyguard. You got to bodyguard the artists, and keep crowd control. You get to sit with them when they come in the shop. So, I got to do that for Todd anytime he would come in. I got to hang out with Will Spertaccio when he came in to the shop. I got to do that at a convention. I don't even know what convention it would have been way back then, but I got to hang out with Dan Fraga, who I still stay in touch with to this day. He'll be coming on the podcast real soon. This is something cool. This is not a comic book, but this is actually Dan's Extreme Studios dog tag. I don't know if it'll focus, but yeah, this is his actual Extreme Studios dog tag he gave me after we hung out at the convention. So it was him and Stephen Platt and Greg Capullo. They brought all three of those guys out to a con out here, and I got to hang out with them all day at the con and sit there with them while they signed and everything else. So yeah, lots of cherished memories from that time between 16 to 18 years old when I worked at the shop.
No, that's awesome. And then like just being like a stand-in, bodyguard
Yeah, right.
at the comic shop. That's
funny too, because I wasn't nearly as imposing. Back at that age, I was 6'3", and I was like 185, 195. So I'm reaching my final form at the 6'5", 320.
You're such a little guy.
Such a
At
little dude.
6'3", almost 200 pounds. So little. Jeez and Pete's.
Hey, I'm just trying to grow up and be like Colossus Collector. That's really my goal.
Yes.
Be another big guy. Cliff's a big guy. Brandon's a big guy.
Right?
My goal when I started the podcast was just to have all the big comic collectors on my show. Really, that was my ulterior motive.
Just all the big guys. All the
big collectors. Yep.
That's funny. That's hilarious. That's all I try to do. I just try to surround myself with big guys because I'm the little one.
Exactly.
Like that's it. So it's
just walk around the cons with a briefcase, handcuffed to your wrist, and have them walk in with you. People really think something's going on.
What is going on, Ryan? Appreciate you coming and hanging out.
Ryan.
We got a question from Richard right here. He says, since you worked in the industry, what's your thoughts on Stan Lee documentary? Have you had a chance to check that out?
I had very mixed feelings about that. So I initially had the knee-jerk reaction that I think most people did was we want to help Stan. And it was like heartbreaking to see the trailer and to see, what was going on there. And then I know some people on the inside of things a little bit more to where they told me some things about the creator, which may or may not be true, the guy making the documentary. And then I felt very conflicted that I didn't do my research before backing it so quickly. Ultimately, I think it worked out the way it was supposed to because they pulled the Kickstarter, and it sounds like he's got it funded via different means. It got like picked up by a movie studio or somebody's backing it now. So they refunded everybody and drop the Kickstarter. So yeah, it's tough, man. And I don't know, like a lot of people I respect vouched for the guy, but then a lot of people I also very much respected who were very much in the know told me some things, and I was like, something's not setting right here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's all over the place, but that was kind of the evolution I went on. Yeah.
That's sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, and I'm sure the truth lies in the middle, just like anything else.
Oh yeah, and it'll come out eventually too.
Yes, sir.
It'll have to. So, on to happy things though.
On to another book.
Yes, let's show off some more books.
Let's do another character. Well, these are always controversial. What's the first appearance? What's not? But
my favorite.
First full appearance.
Oh, Uncanny X-Men 260.
Gotta have that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Nice.
Holy crap!
One of my favorites right there. One of my favorites.
And I actually picked up a raw copy of this down at Rose City Comic Con in Oregon here not too long ago as well. So I have a raw copy of it that's really nice as well.
What so you think first full, or you think, or what are you thinking second appearance? Where are you at?
It's dude, like wherever they had their first dialogue and it actually shows them, I usually look at as like the first appearance, quote unquote, this whole first cameo and first full and all that's just like you just nitpicking,
I definitely think 266 is the better book of the two.
I agree.
It's got better cover, other than his thong and stuff like that, and then we have to acknowledge the fact that like that book was meant to come out before the annual 14, but like the man's on several pages.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Well, it's like the whole Hulk 181 thing or 180.
Yes,
like literally Wolverine's in a full panel named Wolverine, and he has dialogue.
Right.
But 181's the first full appearance. It's like, yeah.
And it's definitely like the better covered book. Like
for sure.
It's definitely
my two favorite characters.
Wolverine and Gambit.
Wolverine and Hulk.
Wolverine Hulk, okay.
Both in the same book. Yeah. 181.
So, those are kind of different characters there. What's the appeal?
The savage, gritty nature of Wolverine and
Okay.
the brooding, hulking, massive guy. I don't know that we can. I don't know if we can relate or not, but I might relate a little bit to the Hulk.
That's hilarious.
The gentle giant.
Have those always been like just the ones that have appealed to you, or
Yeah,
have they changed?
I've always really liked Wolverine and Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of that too probably correlates with artists.
Mm,
What artists were on the book when I was looking at it. Because for me, the Dale Keown run on Hulk was just crazy. It's like some of my favorite art ever. How
nice.
Dale Keown portrayed the Hulk, and then I had a ton of love for Mark Silvestri on Wolverine.
Yes,
So, and there's been amazing artists on Wolverine and Hulk over the years too. Like
absolutely.
Kubert was on Wolverine. Um, Most recently, Nick Klein on Hulk has been insane. Like I
Okay.
feel like he's captured a lot of that Keown essence in
Yeah.
the way he's portraying the character. So yeah, but there's been no shortage of amazing artists on those books. So
Right.
that probably had a little something to do with it as well.
Oh yeah. Uh, I know that steadily we keep going back to, art is the big factor for you.
Yep.
So I have an issue with my books, and I'm curious as to like what your stance is. If a book has fantastic artwork but a horrible story, can you stick with it?
Yes.
Okay. If a book has fantastic story but horrible artwork, can you stick with it?
No. And I will tell you, because this always comes up on the Nerdy Musings podcast whenever I have an artist on,
Yeah.
9 out of 10 artists will tell you the same thing. If the art's bad but the story's great, they can't make it through it. But writers a lot of times will tell you, oh yeah, the art doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but if the story's great, I keep reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's something about that that probably isn't a coincidence. So yeah, for me, I've very much been somebody that is art driven,
Yeah.
and the story isn't always what. A lot of times as an artist, we're spending so much time studying how the fellow artist is doing what they do. We're not even reading the book. We're like flipping through it, looking at the next splash page, or so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where it like comes
But
to
I
life for
think
me.
I think you got to have both.
I agree.
I would prefer to have both. It's sad that we have
100%.
to, make this distinction, because really, like, especially if you're Marvel or DC or a high level publisher putting out stuff, like you should really be trying hard to marry a good writer and artist combo together, and those are out there. I mean, there's plenty of them.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Yeah, that's me is like if I've said several times talking to my wife, I'm like, the story in this book sucks, but the artwork's great. So like I just keep rolling along with it. But then there's been
Yeah.
times where I'm like, this story sucks, this artwork sucks. I don't even know why the F I'm even reading this
Yeah.
anymore. Like
Yeah. And again,
oh,
it's subjective, because for somebody that might be their favorite art they've ever
right.
seen, and
Right.
they're like blown away by it. It's funny how we all have our different tastes.
Well, and then some people they're like, "Oh no, like the art accentuates like what's actually happening in the story. That's why the artwork is that way." And
Right.
done. It's like, yeah, no, I can't. I don't like it. I hate it. So,
You're like, I like what I like, damn it.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Richard says, "Let's just agree. This is his period."
We can agree on that.
Talking about Gambit. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
That
hilarious.
gets it a key. That should be in key collector. They need to they need to add that to their list.
The first Cajun thong.
Yeah. Raging Cajun.
That's hilarious. Cool. Let's keep rolling. What
All
else
right.
you got?
Let me see here. Trying to think of what theme, if we want to switch gears. So I've done a lot of nostalgia. I've done the art. This one kind of hits that iconic art and First appearance. This is a good one.
Oh, nice. McFarlane, Spider-Man 300. Probably like
Yeah.
one of two, at least, most homage covers ever. Like, ever.
Oh, for sure.
So, and then, of course, the whole, like, first appearance debate here, 299
Yeah.
or 300.
First
So.
full appearance, origin and first full appearance of Eddie Brock, of Venom Eddie Brock. Thing appearance. Last black costume issue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because, yeah.
Because McFarlane did not want to draw the black costume. He wanted to draw the original.
Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. He hated drawing the black costume. He wanted him to change it back. And he's like, okay, can we change it back? So when Venom got created and became, the costume went on Eddie Brock, then he got to draw Spider-Man the way he wanted to draw him.
I wonder how, like, and you may have some insight to this, like how Todd feels about the tongue that Eric Larson, like, gave him.
Knowing Todd, what little bit I did, I'm sure he thought it was cool.
Okay.
Todd was huge into like crazy monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure he probably liked it. And that Larson's run on Amazing Spider-Man is way underappreciated, man.
Is it?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a Spider-Man guy. That's why I asked, because
from the perspective of the art, for a lot of people like his art on that better than McFarlane's.
I have heard that.
So,
I have heard that.
Yeah. I already told you I don't read them, so I can't tell you if it's solely on the art, my friend. Yeah, it was some of Larson's best work, I think. Yeah, he did a really good job on it.
So is the I assume Venom connects with you? Is it because of his appearance and the fact that it's done by Todd McFarlane, or what is it? The connection
for that particular one, it's the McFarlane.
Okay.
Yeah, and then always thought Venom was a cool villain as well.
Yeah.
And then this is on the lines of the iconic covers, and again McFarlane.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Another heavily homaged McFarlane cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
No shortage of homages to that.
Holy crap!
Yeah, but definitely the 300 cover's been homaged a lot more.
I kind of want. We were talking about this the other night of like whether it's McFarlane's 300s,
and Spider-Man 1.
And that was the other one.
Spider-Man 1 pose on there too.
Like,
and including didn't Jim Lee just do a recreation, like commission of it?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, somebody had Jim Lee do a cover recreation, like commissioned him to do it's Spider-Man in that pose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's Jim Lee,
cool.
Doing that.
Right.
That cover. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of wonder if Spider-Man 1 has actually been more homage than 300. Like, I feel like they're neck and neck almost. Like, I don't feel like Spider-Man 1 gets the credit that 300 does, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Richard has a question over there.
Yeah, he does. What's something you collect most people didn't know you collect? A guilty pleasure.
We talking about comics or unrelated to comics?
Both now. Now I'm intrigued.
So in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, people will know that I collect this thing. And I'll just spit it out there since we got on this topic. But in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, our uniform we wear, it's called a gi, right?
Yeah.
The traditional uniform. And there's a brand of uniform called Show Your Roll. So like show your roll.
Okay.
And it is like the Nike or Apple equivalent, but a jiu-jitsu uniform. So like people collect it like they would collect Air Jordans or something else, because they're these limited edition, like where they only made a certain amount, and you got to get on their website at like 6 a.m. and hope you can get one before it's. And people collect jiu-jitsu uniforms like they would anything else. And I have some. I have pretty much the largest collection in the world of those, or at least one time I did.
Wow.
And those are worth more than a lot of my comics. I could sell.
Really?
I have sold several to facilitate buying comics because they fetch such a pretty penny.
Wow.
That's a guilty pleasure collectible.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm writing this down because, like, no, I need to know more about this.
Yeah.
This is
SHOYO. So Shoyo, and then ROLL. Shoyo Roll.
I'm so
And if you go on eBay and you look up some of the older ones, because they've been around forever, you'll see ones on there for like over $1,000 or more.
wow. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
For a used one. For one that somebody's trained in. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right?
All right, so what about comics?
Comics. Oh man. Let me see here. No, there's anything that's like a guilty pleasure. I collect a lot of the stuff based on the artists. Something that would be controversial is like I like some of Rob Liefeld's stuff. Sorry, guys. I know everybody hates Rob, but love him or hate him, I like his passion and exuberance for creating comics.
Right.
He's one of the few image guys who's still drawing all the time and actually putting out books, and whether the quality is great or not, whatever you think on that. Like I bought some copies of the new Youngblood to commemorate that, 33-year anniversary launch edition, all of that crap. I bought into it, and there you go. That's my guilty pleasure, just because he's a controversial figure.
I mean, I think Rob Liefeld honestly like there's some stuff he's done that's atrocious. Don't get me wrong, but like overall, like we can't let a few bad apples like ruin the whole batch. I don't think.
True.
Anyways.
Yeah, and I don't personally know him. I've actually only had positive interactions with him. Funny enough, anytime I tag him, he shared my Youngblood cover I'm working on. He
that's awesome.
Interacts, messages back, that kind of thing. Maybe one day he'll be on the podcast. You never know. But I've also seen some really the bad side of him, and I've seen him arguing with people online and being snarky and everything else. So, who knows, man. He's got to be a little bit guarded because all the hate he's gotten over the years. I'm sure that plays a factor, and there's nothing saying that hate's not unwarranted either, right? We just never know.
Maybe he's the bad boy of comic books. Maybe that's what it is. He's like the Bart Simpson of comic books. Like
Yeah, I agree, Colossus Collector. He's been going on rants about that for sure.
I like Rob's art, but he's been acting a little bitter sissy lately.
It's funny that you like his art, because most people don't like his art. That's interesting.
I mean, I grew up in the night. Are you talking about me, or are you talking about
Ryan said, he says he likes his art.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan grew up in that time period as well, so that's probably.
I would say that the attitude can be the turnoff for me as well. I've seen some things where there's maybe some unwarranted snarkiness, shall we say, or attitude that, but again, what's warranted, what's unwarranted, it's kind of one of these things. Like I can't imagine if you reach that level of celebrity, in a sense. I guess it kind of can't help but shape you in some form or the other. So,
well, and like, in all honesty, he doesn't really get the credit that like Jim Lee does, or Todd does, or some of the other founders of Image Comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, I could see that being a little bit of a aggravating of like you don't get the same kind of clout almost.
Yeah, and he's done stuff. I mean, there's plenty of stories about stuff he's done over the years, like shady things and whatnot. But coming into that much fame when you're in your early 20s is probably a little bit of a mind blank. Mind, what.
Yeah.
So
especially in comic books. Like, of all things, comic books.
Yeah, you have Eazy-E coming to your signing at Golden Apple and telling you he's a fan, and go on the Dennis Miller show and this whirlwind thing. I mean, that's kind of got to be a little bit deuce, and coming on to that much money that young.
Right.
Yeah. I heard this story about him like pointing out the window of the studio back in the day and like I bought your car, I bought your car, I bought your like because he was paying the guy so much money, comparatively with other companies. There's like almost like the way that story came across is like he's kind of like holding that over them, like
Yeah.
I funded you, but who knows, right?
Right. I was gonna say it's hard when hearing that kind of stuff because like there's always two sides to a story,
Yeah,
and especially like when you're just hearing like Rob's side of like him, pitching a fit or something like that. It's like, but what got him to that point? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, what's the other side of that story?
Well, and
So,
like with the thing with Marvel, his episode of his podcast added a lot of context to that
mm-hmm.
that I don't think came across in all the news stories that came out because he broke the whole thing down, and
Yeah.
he says he knew pretty much what it was because of. It was because he sent an email to the to the movie production for Deadpool and Wolverine asking, "Hey, historically Marvel is kind of not like put people's name in the credits where they should be, and they like bury them at the very end after all the credits roll for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe we could get my name like somewhere towards the beginning of the credits or whatever, kind of like how they did in Superman where they said so and so created, and he
Right.
wanted that, he wanted a credit, or he asked for something like that
Yeah.
for Deadpool and Wolverine, but the way he worded it in saying, "Hey, Marvel has historically kind of neglected this with creators. Do you think we could do it this time?"
Yeah.
That probably rubbed somebody the wrong way to the point
Right.
where no, you're not invited to the after party. You can come to the premiere. Sorry, buddy. You don't get to come in and hang out with everybody
Oh,
like you have all the other times.
right. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm sure there was multiple layers to it, like anything
Right.
else. But again, it's how you present things, right? Like I've said, he can come across abrasive in certain exchanges. I'm sure emails is one of those because I've seen some of his tweets and things where it's like very short and snarky.
Yeah.
So probably rub somebody high up the wrong way, and they're like, "Hey, heck with this guy. Let's just let him come to the premiere, but let's not let him into the fun after party."
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I'm sure everything was done through email, and like that's one of the worst places to have a conversation, like text, email, all that jazz, because it's your words off of their perception, like
Yeah.
their inner voice of how you sound. Like there's so much context that's lost
Yep.
in that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
oh
it's
well.
interesting because it sounded like he had a lot of good interactions with Kevin Feige in the past, but
Yeah.
it's like Kevin Feige pretty much snubbed him at this thing. So it's like something happened. Who
Oh.
knows? Only they will know.
Colossus asked this other question too that I think is
Yeah.
fantastic. And modern Frank Miller covers. What's your thoughts on those?
I am not a fan of them, if you just want me to be honest.
Do you think he's lost it? Do you think he needs to give it up?
I think he's experimenting.
Mm,
I don't think it's that he can't do it. I think he's experimenting,
I got
and
you.
his work was already a style that was very much individualized. Like certain people loved it, certain people hated it even back in the day.
Yeah.
And to take that even further, like he has here recently, it's not resonating with a lot of people, including myself.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean I think he's not a legend and all? No, he's absolutely a legend. And I saw something, I think he did another cover or something recently that actually looked way better.
Yeah.
So maybe now he's like, oh, dial it back. Let's dial it down to a 7 now and see if people like this.
He was putting out a bunch of covers there for a minute. I wonder if he
Yeah.
was just trying to find like a way to be able to crank those covers out quicker.
I don't know, man. You would think too, like some of these guys, like Klaus Janson that inked him on Daredevil, he experiments with digital. Like Klaus does inking
Mm,
and stuff digitally. So yeah, who knows what Frank does? I'm sure he's probably all still traditional. I was talking to my wife the other day, like especially with people kind of talk smack on the digital art, but I'm like, that's a way that older artists can continue working as their eyesight and their hands start failing.
Mm,
Because that's the thing that takes a lot of our older artists from us, and they get to the point where they're like, I can't get my work right because I can't see and things are getting
right,
distorted. But you can go through so quickly on the digital tools and change things around, flip it real quick so you can see the mistakes, flip it back, adjust. You can zoom
right.
in infinitely if you need to, if you're having trouble seeing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I feel like we might see some of our older legends adopting that and being able to use that later in their career to keep working.
I wonder if that's what it is. Like, do you think he just made the switch over to digital and that's what we got? Like, and
Yeah,
we
it
just
might
didn't
be.
know that?
It
Like
might
that?
be. You never know, man. It wouldn't surprise me, being that
That's
Klaus was just saying that he's doing a lot of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he might have got Frank on the boat and said, "Hey, man, check this out."
Do it this way, Frank.
And then Frank typed in prompt on Chat GPT, Wolverine in Frank Miller style. And that's what we got.
Oh no.
He said, "This is great." Prompt.
Send. Richard asks if you can draw in any comic character or series, Marvel, DC, or Indie, who would you pick?
Hulk.
Nice, nice.
I've always enjoyed drawing the bigger, overly muscular characters. So I would definitely, Hulk would be right up my alley. My buddy
Okay.
Ron Garney, he gives me a hard time because man, everybody you draw is too muscular. You gotta draw some normal people.
I was gonna say, is it because Wolverine's short? Is that why? Because like Wolverine's pretty built.
I don't mind Wolverine. I would draw Wolverine. It's just, if you draw Hulk, it doesn't mean Wolverine can't show up in there, right?
That's true. That's true.
Hulk is Wolverine adjacent, so
That's funny. Cool. All right, let's see what else you got as far as books. How far along? What we
there's
got?
a lot in here, brother. So how much? Let me know how much time we're gonna have left, and I will accommodate.
We got what? 24 minutes left.
Okay. 24 minutes. Let's do another character. Oh, this is a second appearance. This is like a true second appearance.
True.
This is a true second appearance.
All right. Nice.
It's the second appearance of Groot.
Is that a retelling though? Or
No,
is that an original story? I can't remember.
original.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Second appearance of Groot. Let me see here. Let's crank through a little bit since we're coming down to the wire. Speaking of Frank Miller,
Hey, Wolverine. Nice.
there we go.
Newsstand on top of that. That's a nice looking book.
I might need to send this one in to get graded. I do not see a single flaw on it.
Those things are expensive in 9.8. Like ridiculously
it's like
expensive.
no spine ticks, no color breaks, perfectly square corners. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, especially if it's a newsstand. Like
Now this one here hits nostalgia because I was always a huge Transformers guy.
oh yes, nice. Transformer 1. Fantastic.
So that's a nostalgia one. This was actually a gift from one of my jiu-jitsu students, so that was really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
So were you just big on the cartoon growing up, or what was
the cartoon?
cool?
Yep.
Okay.
Huge on the cartoon. Yep.
Nice.
Have most of my G1 toys still.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. And all my Star Wars toys.
Oh, cool.
Which brings us to, that's a good one.
Nice.
That's also a good one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. This is
I think this is like the Whitman something or
so.
whatever
The diamond.
And then that.
Nice.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I'm just saying you are busting them out right now. Jeez and Pete's.
Another first appearance.
Yes.
First Rocket.
First in comic books. But
yes. Yeah.
But no, yeah, I love that book. I want that book.
Another newsstand.
Another newsie, yes.
Yeah.
Right, Brandon? Right? James's collection is insane.
We
I
had to do
100% agree.
so we didn't get the FOMO.
Oh, nice with the Lobo. Have you seen the set leaks yet?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either, but I've heard they're out there, so I'm curious.
This is another probably 9.8. Found this
Nice.
at a con. And this is a cool first. It's not a first appearance, but it is the first furry.
Oh,
It's our first
yeah.
furry beast.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And
That was a short
then
little run, too.
this is a good first, especially because this character, I did not realize how much it resonated with me until I saw him walk out in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and I realized how much I needed it.
Oh,
First
yes.
Blade.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
What do you think of Mahershala Ali?
I don't think that movie's going to happen. I love him as an
Really?
actor, though. Yeah, it keeps getting delayed and pushed back, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's great. He was great in True Detective.
He was great in Luke Cage season
He was
1.
great in Cage. Yep. All right,
Man,
so
I
now
want that movie to come out so bad.
So now we probably got. You said we had 24 minutes. Now we're probably under 20 minutes.
Yeah, a hair.
What do we got going on in the chat while I'm looking at this? Ryan and Brandon are being funny, I'm guessing.
Oh, Brandon, of course. The funniest thing is Richard. He says Lobo sucks. And he hates it. Nice. First black suit.
Now, did this? Okay, so we got to do some detective work here.
Okay.
I'm sure you know the answer. Let me see here. I saw it. It's
Ryan
in here.
says he misses Tomb of Dracula number 10. I'm sorry, Ryan. I believe you had to sell it for something, didn't you?
Where is
Richard,
it?
how
Okay,
hard is
so
it to make a vampire movie? Like 3 get made a year. Yes.
So which did this come out before this?
Okay, so this is another prime
Is this
example.
another debate?
This is another prime example of the Remy LeBeau gambit. Okay.
Okay.
Is it Spider-Man? Is it 256? What number is that? I can't remember.
252.
252. Okay, so
Yeah.
Spider-Man 252 came out before Secret Wars 8. However, Secret Wars 8 was supposed to be out before 252.
Okay.
And that that's the lineage of the black suit.
So it was a publishing thing.
Right. So the same thing with Annual 14 and
Gotcha.
266 with X-Men.
Okay.
So yes, 252 is
that's
the money book.
Secret Wars is always the one I thought of as far as the first black suit.
Oh yeah, because it's the
You know.
origins when he actually first gets it.
Yep. All right, let's see here.
It was 8. Or it's 252. Apologies.
This is a iconic Jim Steranko cover.
Oh, yes it is. That's fantastic.
Now here's what I don't understand about grading though.
Okay.
This thing is yellow as hell, or like beige. That's supposed to be a white cover. Somehow that's a 9.2.
Yeah, I mean,
do they not care about the white cover not popping or what?
That's probably why. That's probably if it's flawless outside of the yellowing, or
probably why it's not a 9.8.
That's probably why it's a 9.2. Yeah.
Talk about iconic. Got to have one of these in your collection.
Oh, nice. Yeah, especially if you're a Wolverine Hulk fan. Absolutely.
Yeah. I have a raw newsstand one of these that's in pretty good shape too.
And then it's Todd on top of that. Like,
yep. Holy crap!
I'm just saying.
So I've got 4 left.
Oh, cool.
How quickly do you want me to go?
As quick as you want to.
All right. So let's go here.
Let's see what chat's saying. We got Brandon is saying Ryan Reynolds is pushing hard for Wesley Snipes to have one more send off for Blade Logan style.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a Blade solo movie with Wesley Snipes, and then they did like a Marshall Ali variant version taking the torch at the end or something. I mean, they
Yeah.
could do it. People would eat it up. I would eat it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you can have both. So especially with the reboot.
All right,
Let's
here's
see.
a good first appearance.
Oh, nice. The Juggernaut. Yes.
Look how red that is.
That is freaking fantastic.
Yeah, usually that one, anything old with a red cover is super hard to
Yeah.
get in the. But yeah, again, that's another. It's like it's a 4, but to me, it looks like a 7 or an 8. Maybe I have my comic beer goggles on.
Yeah, like comic book like colors in comic books, especially like Silver Age, they're almost like tattoos. Like
Yeah.
that color inks like fades over time. It's
This one has another to do with that red, where this one can look great or look not so great.
oh, nice.
But
Yes.
I think this one looks great.
Oh, that's fantastic. 7
Yeah.
Yes.
Super
Man,
clean. Yeah. Super
is
clean copy.
Holy crap!
This one
insane.
actually has a really cool story behind it. I'll tell real quick. So I kept running into this comic book vendor at a couple different local conventions, and we got to talking. He found out I was a jiu-jitsu guy, and he's like, oh, I used to train. I really want to get back into it. Where's your school? And I told him. He's like, oh, I gave him my card. Oh, I'm going to come in and train. Never saw him. Run into him at another convention, and he's like, yeah, I want to come in and train, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I'll come back and give you another card before I leave or whatever. When I went to his booth, I saw that he had that book and had a certain price on it and stuff. And I asked to see it. And then I was like, hey, you got any wiggle room on it? It's, cover prices saying if fair market value is this, you've got it at this. Is there any wiggle room? And he's like looking it up, and he goes, you know what? Take it. He hands it to me, and he goes, this way I know I'll actually come and train. So let's do, he goes,
Wow.
whatever amount of training you think this is worth, I'll call you on Monday or whatever. So then he did. He came and trained, and I got the book as a result of providing jiu-jitsu training for the gentleman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did he stick around like after that, or did
He did stick around for quite a while, and he's getting ready to come back again here soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So who knows, maybe there'll be other books in the future through that relationship, because
Right?
I'm happy to provide the training for awesome comics.
Right?
All right, I'm down on my last 2. This one is really beat up, but I still love it.
Let's roll through the comments real quick. We'll add some add some anticipation for these last 2 books. So we got Brandon says that he sold his
Tomb of Dracula 10.
Tomb of Dracula 10 back in 2011. Sold it to finance an engagement ring.
That's a worthy sacrifice, Brandon.
I was gonna say that's another good trade-off there, sir.
Yep.
Like I think it paid for itself.
So.
Yep. Ryan says, yeah, my X-Men won, but it went to Eric at SideQuest. So I guess talking about selling the Tomb of Dracula, it went to Eric at SideQuest.
Oh, gotcha.
Another fantastic YouTuber. But yeah. Colossus says tanning doesn't always matter. I agree with that. But
yeah, I'm so new to the graded book world that I still, certain things make me scratch my head.
Yeah. I'm telling you, get that Overstreet grading.
I have it. I have that, and I actually have the CGC one as well.
Yeah, check out that.
CGC one is like reading a friggin' cuneiform manuscript or something, though. Trying to decipher if the tick is 2 centimeters to the right at a 45-degree angle, the comic will be this grade. But if it is a millimeter down, then it will be this other grade. And I'm just like, how does a human keep track of all of this and stay consistent? There's no way.
No. I like the
Overstreet one's a little more straightforward.
Overstreet is like is this minimal wear? Is this moderate wear? Is it
Yeah.
heavy wear? And I'm like, that's fantastic. That's
Yep.
perfect wording. Like, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
way to go. Because like even once you get your book to CGC, it's not going to be straightforward. Like it's going to
No.
depend on that grader's day.
Exactly.
So it's all subjectional. So
Yeah.
cool. All right, let's see.
Caught up on that chat.
Richard
Great
said that was a
trade.
great trade. The book for the
agree.
lessons. X-Men 1 or FF4. Nice. Yeah, one of those would be a good trade.
I would love either of those. He had an amazing fantasy 15 at the last con I saw him at in a 0.5, and it was like still, 13, 14
Right.
grand on it.
Are you your favorite characters are Hulk and Wolverine? Do you have any DC that are like your favorite like go-to characters?
Batman for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Batman is probably my top. Again, influenced by artists. Batman's had a lot of amazing artists on there.
Yeah.
You've had Capullo, you've had Finch,
Right.
McFarlane's been on there, Neil Adams. Like, there's just no shortage of amazing artists have been on that book. Frank Miller, in the days before the Father Time has started coming for his art skills, or so it would seem.
but let's be real, the Dark Knight Returns, that had some wonky art in it too.
It did.
Like and that was at his prime.
And then you look at his Daredevil stuff, and then you compare and contrast, and then you got to wonder like how much of that on Daredevil was Klaus finishing or embellishing, and how much of that was all pure Frank,
Yeah.
So
Man Without Fear is solid though. Like that little. I haven't read the rest of his stuff from the actual volume of Daredevil, but
I think it's
the 5-issue Man Without Fear. That's a solid one.
I think it's another Kirby situation.
Mm.
Just got bored and decided to change his style.
Let's make some waves.
Yep.
Let's get these nerds riled up.
Exactly. It worked.
Such a good point. Klaus is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still active. He's still doing all that, still working.
Mike with Casino Comics
What's up,
in the
Casino?
house. What's going on, Mike? Appreciate you. All right. 2 books.
Just in time. Mike's just in time for the last 2. All right. Like I said, I preface this with this one is very beat up. It's got writing on the cover. It's creased to heck. But we were talking about it earlier.
Hey, yes.
Got that whole panel with the full body shot of Wolverine.
Nice.
Called Wolverine, has the dialogue and everything.
Does it have the value stamp?
Yeah, it's complete.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, but
I think that's more important than anything else.
It's just super beat up.
Holy crap!
Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
We gotta save the best for last, and based on the last one I showed, people can probably guess. Been laying breadcrumbs the whole time.
There it is.
There it is.
The 6.5. What? That's crazy. Wow.
This is another cool story of how jiu-jitsu helped with a comic purchase.
Okay.
There's a great company called the Blue Chip Comic, and they handle like all crazy high end. Like he had sold a Superman 1 for $550,000 the day prior to me getting this.
Wow.
He had a Detective 27 there for over $1 million.
Wow.
Just right up there on the wall. Yeah, so check them out on Instagram. The owner's an awesome guy, and they had this priced very fairly. I was thinking I was going to be able to get a 3.5 or a 4. That was kind of my goal when I went into the con. And then I see this one, and I'm like, saw the price tag on it, and I'm like, wow, that's a really good deal. And so then I offered lower than that because it was still outside. It was still outside my budget.
Yeah.
I said, look, I I don't want to lowball you, but here's kind of the most I can spend type of thing. And do you have any more room? Blah, blah, blah. And we got to talk, and it turns out all of his kids do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So we hit it off over that. And he's
Oh,
showing me
nice.
pictures of him hanging out with Dana White at the UFC and everything else, and talking about what, big fans they are of Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. And long story short, he showed me how much they paid for it. And they actually overpaid for that when they bought it. And he said the only way this happens is either we screwed up and put the wrong price tag on it to sell it here. Somebody screwed up and it's got the wrong price on it because we paid like 500 more than that for it.
Yeah.
Or we thought we could crack it and press it and probably get like a 7.5 or something. But he goes, regardless,
man.
he goes, I believe in honoring even if we made a mistake. And he's like, could you do this much? And then we came to the deal.
Wow. Wow.
So it worked out well. I spent more than I was intending, but I got it for cheaper than you could get a for at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I remember, I believe I saw you put that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
That's a recent purchase, is it not?
Yep. That was at Emerald City Comic-Con here recently.
Wow. Man, that's awesome.
So
Congratulations.
that was like my ultimate Grail book when I started getting into the graded stuff. And
Yeah.
now that I've reached that goal, it's like, oh, got to start setting some new goals. I didn't expect to get that one so early in my foray into the books,
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, I feel like that's probably one of your Grail books. So, like,
big time. It was the number one. Yeah,
really,
there was no other one above that for me.
I'm surprised the Hulk one's not there.
It's on there, but there's certain ones where I just can't fathom. I can't see being able to get that anytime soon. So I don't know if I even put it on my radar because of that.
I got you.
Right. Like the Fantastic Four 1, Hulk 1, Amazing Fantasy 15. Those are like, yeah, if that happens one day, cool. But this one, Giant Size X-Men 1, stuff like that seems a little more reasonably attainable.
Yeah.
I think I kind of set my scope around that. And but being that those are my two favorite characters and it's just this iconic book,
Yeah,
that was up there. That was like number one on my list.
I got you. Okay, so what are you thinking?
Oh, what's Ryan saying here?
Ryan wants to check out that piece of
Huh?
art that you got behind you.
The one on my desk there?
Yeah. No, it does stick out, Ryan. I've been looking at it off and on throughout the entire night.
So this is a Spider-Punk original by my buddy Justin Mason, who drew Spider-Punk.
Wow.
So this is the original. This is actually the first appearance of that Spider-Punk's version of Rhino. So this page is a published page. That's his first appearance. It's got the Captain America character on it. It's got Spider-Punk on it. Tons of detail.
Insane.
Yeah, Justin's amazing. He's one of the top up and coming talents. He's actually drawing the new Thing series.
Okay.
That's going to be coming out. And then on the other side is his when McFarlane ran that Spawnuary cover contest.
Yeah.
Where he was having. So Justin did this.
Oh wow.
Because his favorite character is Haunt. So he put Haunt on there with Spawn, and just the detail is insane, guys. Justin is like literally how he is not the top artist for any company he wants to be for. Like, it's just a matter of time. His work is phenomenal, and he inks himself. So this is all his pencils and inks on this stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I traded him so I said his favorite characters Haunt, and his favorite artists are Ryan Otley and Greg Capullo, and I happen to have a double page spread of Haunt that Otley did over Greg Capullo's breakdowns.
Wow.
So I traded him because I knew how bad he wanted to own a Haunt original piece.
Yeah.
I said, hey, maybe we can work out something because I know you want to get a hold of a Haunt piece. And I offered him to trade for those 2 pieces of his. So
that's a deal right there. Like,
awesome deal. Yeah. And how
With
his friggin' cover did not win that contest, and that stupid AI cover won when they said no AI, and then they just swept it under the rug and nobody ever talked about it.
I was gonna say, because
They released it. They're releasing the first one from that contest is coming out, but it's not the AI one. So they did kick that one out. So that's good. But he never put out a statement. Nobody said anything. Just let's pretend it didn't happen. And he got a shit ton of free covers.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
I know a lot of people that were mad about that. A lot of my artist buddies are like, that mother effer couldn't afford to, he had to make a contest up to get some covers for his book. I was like, I don't know that he had bad intentions behind it like that, guys, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, Ryan called it.
Holy crap!
I'm just saying the original artwork, the freaking Hulk, all that jazz. Like, that's
original artwork's a whole other ball game. I have some stuff I could show you that you would, if we ever do a original art collecting uncensored on here, I'll get my portfolio down from up there and I'll take some of the Invincible pages off the walls of the hallway and really show off some stuff in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I also need you to get in touch with this man right here, because
he likes original art now.
He loves original.
He's drank the Kool-Aid on the original art. It's again, just like me getting the graded books, Ryan, it's a slippery slope.
And he's even done, like, he's wanted to do a live talking about original art. So
I'm your guy. I'm your guy, Ryan.
Y'all two need to team up. Like, this needs to happen. I need to see both you big guys on the same screen.
For sure. For sure.
I'm aware.
That's awesome.
I'd
love to do that.
Richard says, great comics, great stories, great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for everybody that was on here hanging out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great turnout tonight. Freaking thank you so much, James, for coming and hanging out. Hit us up. Let us know where we can find you at. Let us know what's coming up on your podcast. Like, give us the lowdown of what everything's going on.
All right. So podcast, find us anywhere at Nerdy Mewzings. Nerdy Mewzings is spelled like right on the screen here for your convenience. Mewzings. It's a little cat for the logo, guys. I'm a cat guy. I know that's probably controversial. I love all animals. I would have a dog if we had a lifestyle where we could, but so Mewzings, like a cat mewing or meowing. You can find us on Instagram there, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, X, anywhere that you get your socials or you do any of that, you should be able to find us at Nerdy Mewzings. You can follow my personal Instagram. It's James300 Foster. So James 300 Foster, not because I'm over 300 pounds. I used to have the big Leonidas beard like in 300, and people made up a rumor that I was Gerard Butler's stunt double in the movie 300, and people were actually buying that when I was up in Canada to teach a seminar. A guy told them, and then they were getting like free drinks and everything. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? They're like, it's him. He was Gerard Butler's stunt double. So in the jiu-jitsu world, my nickname is 300. So my personal one, James 300 Foster.
Nice.
If you care about jiu-jitsu or professional arm wrestling, that's mainly what you will find on that Instagram.
Fantastic.
And Comic Mewzings, So it's
Okay.
Mewzings spelled the same way. That'll be where I'm selling comics when I start to do that. And then I have Artsy Mewzings, sticking with the theme. It's ARTZY, and then Mewzings spelled that same way over on Instagram. If you care to see any of my artwork, some of you saw like what I gave Ryan. I know, let's see here. I know Richard said he hates Lobo. Well, this isn't Lobo. This is an absolute Batman I'm working on finishing up
Oh,
here.
cool.
Yeah. And then sorry, Richard. It's a little Lobo action for you there.
Shout out to Bottom Tier Collector, because that is his favorite character right there.
Nice. That piece is for sale. Jamie from Kodak Station was going to buy it, but ended up not getting it. So that one's still available.
Nice.
Hit me up if you want to make an offer on it. It'll be reasonably priced. I don't have a lot of originals. Usually I do stuff for friends and all that and surprise people, give away my art, but been taking it more seriously and I've sold some stuff. So
Nice.
anybody reaches out on any of those socials that I talked about, they can get a hold of me. Yeah, sorry, Ryan. I know I've got way too many. I tried to separate everything so I'm not cross posting, like, because when you got a bunch of followers in the jiu-jitsu world, they don't always want to see comic and art stuff. So I like tried to separate. Okay, podcast has this one I'll put my art on, this one will be for comic selling. It's a lot, but I think it's how it has to be done.
Yeah. No, I can see that, absolutely. But I'm with Ryan. I was like, I thought I was good, but obviously I'm not. So, but hey,
I've been lurking on you guys. See, this is what you know now. You see those other accounts, you're like, oh, he's been around. Be careful.
I'm gonna make it easy for all y'all out there, and I'm gonna put the links to all these Instagram on the description below. The podcast stuff is already there, so make sure you go and follow him, sum them up, and stuff like that. Anything you want to let out as far as like people you got coming up on the podcast or anything like that?
So Monday I'll be having a gentleman named Jeff Nelson, who's a published author. He wrote a book called Ninja Punks F Off, but it's all the characters that you can purchase over on Amazon. He's an awesome guy, very creative. It's a really cool fictional story about a ninja that crosses paths with like this person who's a fan of this band at a concert. He finds the fan finds the band dead and this ninja guy standing over him, and then adventures take place after that. So Jeff Nelson, he's going to be on the episode coming up on Monday, and then Joshua Durstein's going to be on the Monday after that. And then there are a lot in the works. I'm recording several over the next week. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
that's exciting, man.
Have some artists that the fact that they aren't like the most famous artist at Marvel or DC or Image is beyond me. This guy Yevgeny Sokolov is coming on. If you look him up on Instagram or Twitter, his art is mind-blowing. It's beyond words, and he's frustrated because he's like, what do I got to do to get in on to break in? And I'm like, I don't know, it's a wonder, but have you on the podcast, maybe somebody will hear about you, and you never know.
Yeah I mean, it's crazy, like this, like Mark Spears, just all of a sudden, you never know when it's gonna blow up.
He's supposed to be coming on here soon too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
fantastic. He's an Alabama boy too.
Awesome. Yeah, he's supposed to be coming on. There's so many people I've reached out to that have said they're coming on, but it's just artists are busy, man. If they're on a monthly book for Marvel or DC, the deadlines just bury them, and they barely have time to breathe. I think the last thing they want to do is, go on a podcast for an hour when they do finally get a break. But so many of them have been gracious and done so. So there's a lot of people. Joe Jusko is going to be coming on.
Oh, cool.
But it's just scheduling is hard. Bart
Yeah.
Sears, been in contact with his wife and supposed to get him scheduled. So there's a lot of like really big names coming on. It's just a matter of when we get it scheduled and get the recording done.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's
Thank
super
you, buddy.
exciting, man.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all so much, James. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and hanging
you.
out, man. Showing me your awesome collection. We'll have to have you back, whether it be original artwork, whether it be new keys that you got coming up, old nostalgia.
I would love to. Yeah.
Like, love to have you back on.
Anytime, man.
Chat, people watching the rerun, thank y'all so much for watching.
Thank you, chat.
Hey, it is Easter weekend. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and remember what the reason is for the season, all right? It's because somebody died and rose again. So he is risen. He's risen indeed. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Thank y'all.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Take
Happy
care.
Y'all have a good one.